Hello and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking a bit about the brand new Trivium single, The Phalanx. But before I get into that, I just want to do something that I haven't done in quite a long time. And I want to do it because, quite frankly, I miss it and I enjoy it. And that's... Now, seriously, it feels good to be talking about music again. I feel quite recharged in coming back to this channel. Been doing a lot of reaction videos lately, which people seem to be responding to quite well, and I've done a couple of reviews and top 10s or album tier rankings, should I say. And I'm slowly getting back into it again. And the reaction videos is actually part of why I wanted to do this video, because I did a reaction video to the new Trivium single, The Phalanx, and it was blocked immediately. I re-edited the video to see if that would do anything, but it was still blocked. I was really happy with how it came out as well. I genuinely think it's the video that would have got me to 100 million subscribers. I'm positive of that, and it's been taken from me. You took that from me, WMG. But I wanted to talk about the single because, spoiler warning, I thought it was great. I really, really enjoyed this single. Before I get into that, I just want to say as well, the first part of this video I'm going to be talking about the Trivium single. Second part of it, I'm going to be doing a bit of a channel update and what I've got intended for the future. So for those of you who are interested, you can hang around for that. So, Trivium with the Phalanx. This, I don't know what it has to do with the Elder Scrolls Online, but there was the recent commercial for, I guess it's one of the expansion packs, which is interspersed with the video for this of the band performing. So I don't know if I don't know if that's going to be something to do with the games in the future. I don't know, because Matt Heafy is incredibly proactive on social media, Twitch, with gaming and streaming and all the rest of it. So he's built up quite a presence in that world. So, but the song itself, The Phalanx, this is a 7-minute epic, quite frankly. And I can't help but feeling in many ways it gave me what I wanted from the new Mastodon. I recently reacted to their new single, Tear Drinker, which I think is a good song, and it, to be fair, has gotten better with every listen. I really enjoy the chorus, as catchy as hell, but I expect more from Mastodon. I expect more changes throughout the songs, you know, a bit more progressive. And you definitely get that with this Trivium single. Not saying that it sounds like Mastodon at all, because of course it doesn't. They're completely different bands, but you know what I mean. This over the 7 minutes, it goes through a lot of different changes. We get that classic Trivium sound. We get elements of new wave of British heavy metal. We get some real low-tuned gent sections and some great riffage. The outro is spectacular. That's kind of what really got me on this song. If you haven't already listened to it, then go and do it. Remedy that, because the outro, oh God, it's beautiful. So cinematic, so epic. Really enjoyed it. The entire band is on top form. I truly think that Trivium are one of those bands that we have the greatest stuff yet to come. I think the more they mature, the older they get, the more experience they get, the better they get. That was a grouse. They're just a band I'm warming to more and more. I never gave them their due. They, here in the UK, they blew up on, was it Embers to Inferno? Pull Harder on the Strings of Your Martyr. For some reason I never got into the band. But yeah, they got hyped by the UK media ridiculously. So they were, you know, touted as the next best, the next big thing, the next Metallica. And then the press pretty much turned on them the very next album, and they become one of the most hated. I never got the hate, even though I didn't necessarily get into the music I never really truly understood the hate towards the band. I have seen them live probably 5 or 6 times. I saw them on the Black Crusade tour. I'm pretty sure I saw them with Slayer. I think it was Slayer, Trivium, Mastodon and Amon Amarth. Although I might be getting that confused with the Machine Head one, I'm not sure. And I've seen them at Download a bunch of different times and other festivals and stuff like that. There was one gig, which I can't remember what it was, but they got a ton of shit from the crowd. And they carried on playing, they carried on giving 110%. And I always had a tremendous amount of respect for the band for that reason. Even though, again, I didn't really listen to a lot of their music, I've always respected them. Matt Heafy as well, he seems like a legitimately good dude. A very inspiring individual. It's great to see them bloom. Well done, guys. But back to the Phalanx. Yeah, every band member seems absolutely on top form. Paolo is as solid as ever on the bass. Matt Heafy is his rhythm guitaring is exceptional. Incredibly gifted rhythm player and lead player. Corey, phenomenal lead player. From the little I have experienced of the band, why have I got into here? Bloody hell. And he does some tasty leads on this. And I think it's Alex Bent, their new drummer. Well, I say new drummer, he's been with the band, I think, since 2015. Fantastic drummer. Really fantastic drummer. He was one of the standouts on this track. There are a couple of moments throughout this track. In the intro, the outro again, some of the double bass stuff. Oh, did I hit the mic there? Some of the double bass stuff that he was doing was just, fantastic. He hits hard as well. Really sounds great. So I highly recommend those of you who haven't checked out the Phalanx, check it out. And also, because I know they got a new album coming out at some point as well, they've already put 3 songs out for it. I would like to do a review of that, because I was supposed to do a review for What the Dead Men Say last year, but I didn't get around to it. I'd like to rectify that, do a couple more reviews again, because that was a solid album. Another thing with the video as well they did for the Phalanx was they recorded a lot of it in their hangar. They've built their own hangar now. That was something they learned from the pandemic. Another thing Matt Heafy again, very proactive on social media. I think the pandemic really separated a lot of bands, because you had people like Rob Flynn, Devin Townsend, Matt Heafy, I'm sure there are others who kept really active during that time, doing podcasts and doing streams and writing and recording and really, really keeping in touch with people, whereas other bands kind of fell by the wayside. And I think that really is the mark of a great band or a great creator, somebody who can carry on going through those tough times and really keep going. Oh, hang on, just let me get out of here. Fuck. Yeah, part of what they did was recording in the hangar, where I think they do their rehearsing there, they do streams from there, and I think they've done gigs from there as well, sort of broadcast them live, and it's just great what they're doing. I love to hear stuff like that. I think they're inspired by people like Iron Maiden, having their own plane, and Metallica HQ and all the rest of it, and that's just great. So yeah, Trivium really was blown away by this new single. I thought it was fantastic, and I highly recommend that you check it out if you haven't already. Trivium, the Phalanx. Hopefully the reaction video, I did put in a dispute to see if I can get the blockage removed, but chances are, if that ever did happen, by the time that did happen, it'd be, nobody would be sort of paying attention to this sort of stuff again at that point anyway. So I just wanted to do a video talking about it, because it really was one of the first Trivium songs I've heard in a while that really blew me away. I thought it was fantastic. So well done, chaps. Well done. And as I'm already out here and recording, I thought I might as well give you guys a bit of an update as to what I've got planned for the channel in the future. As I said, I fell out of love with talking about music for quite a while. I just got burnt out, got exhausted with doing it. Been doing the reaction videos again, and they're remarkably easy to do. I started doing them the beginning of last year, but I didn't have a proper setup to be able to do it. And I found that every time I wanted to do a video, I had to set everything up each time. I didn't have a proper place to put everything, you know what I mean? And that it did kind of it did make things that much slower to do. Whereas now I've streamlined everything, I've got everything set up properly, and it's really not that much of an effort for me to do those sorts of videos. So I am going to be doing a couple of reaction videos a week. I'm going to be definitely concentrating on any new releases. So those will replace like the single reviews that I used to do. I might as well just actually talk about them as I'm listening to them. I want to focus on bands that I've never listened to before. So for example, last night I posted one for Spirit Box, who I know are a band that are getting a lot of traction at the moment, and I've never heard any of their music at all. So I did a reaction to Yellow Jacket, which featured Sam Carter, and it was interesting because again, I need to explore new music. There's tons of old stuff I've never listened to. There's tons of new stuff I haven't listened to, and I'd like to rectify that. Other plans I'd like to do. I will still do the occasional review. For example, we got the new Mastodon album coming out at the end of this month, so I will be doing a review of that. Mastodon, one of my favourite bands. There's no way I can't review that. I do like the idea of doing some classic albums. For any of you who've been watching the top tier stuff that I've done, the top album lists that I've done with Slayer and who else did I do? Metallica, Fear Factory. What I've started doing recently is kind of included little clips of me playing guitar in them, not because I'm any good, just because it gives them a bit more, you know, it gives me something else to talk about when I'm doing them. I thought maybe I could include some of that stuff in classic album reviews, and maybe kind of going into how a song is structured, how a band, you know, how a mood is built. So I thought that'd be kind of interesting. You know, I'm not an amazing musician by any stretch, but I do understand quite a bit about it, and I understand how that stuff kind of happens. So yeah, maybe incorporate that into classic album reviews. I was going to continue doing the album rankings lists. I've just yesterday finished doing my Machine Head one, so that'll probably be up within a week. And then I'll be looking at doing some other ones. I will be doing an album ranking for Mastodon, but I figured at this point I might as well wait until the new album comes out, so that way I could kind of, you know, see how it fits within the discography. And the last idea I had, because I know a lot of you enjoy these types of videos where I'm out walking. I know you do, and I kind of miss doing them as well. It might not sound like much, but honestly, doing the review sometimes can really burn you out, because there is a lot of writing and research that goes into doing them. It might seem like I'm just rambling on a lot of times, but genuinely, I do have to put a lot into those. And unfortunately, I just don't really have the time to be able to do the writing. But I thought one thing I could do, I've been thinking for a while now of doing a top 10 albums for every year that I've been alive. So for example, the first video I'd be looking at doing would be my top 10 albums of 1976. And I thought this would be quite an interesting one to do, because it's going to cover all sorts of music. It's the sort of stuff I can come out here and talk about, make these more relaxed, chilled videos. And, you know, it's just sort of a brief summary of an album. And also something else I really enjoy about that as well, that idea, is the fact that it won't just be metal music. Now, of course, I love metal, and it's always going to be the core of what I do with these videos. But, you know, like all of you, I listen to lots of different music, lots of different styles. And obviously, I wasn't listening to music in 1976, the year I was born. So a lot of the music that I was listening to is, you know, discovered later on. Whereas when we get into the 80s and 90s, those were my formative years of really getting into music. And there was obvious huge albums from the metal world which impacted on me, but there's also pop albums and, you know, electronic albums and dance music and all that sort, you know, indie music as well, that really shaped me as who I am. So I like the idea of being able to look at these top 10 albums of each year and really see how they shaped me, and take a stroll down memory lane while out on memory field. And also, it'd be good to get some interaction with you guys as well, you know, sort of, you know, as I'm putting them out, you guys can have a look at your top albums for it as well. So it'll be albums that meant a great deal to me at the time, albums that meant a great deal to me later. Be interested to see how those albums, you know, an album that I loved at the time, maybe I can't stand now as well, or, you know, or led me on to something else. So yeah, wow, I've been talking for a lot longer than I thought I would about this. This was only supposed to be a short little video. As ever, thank you very much for watching, for paying attention. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. It feels nice to be back doing this stuff again. So if you guys have any ideas for reaction videos as well, man, it's getting windy. It is getting windy. Then yeah, maybe post some comments. But I think, yeah, that's probably going to be the bread and butter of the channel for a little while. And I'll add in other little bits and pieces as and when I can. But yeah, I'll catch you next time. I've gone on way too long. Sorry. Bye, 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 bye.